You've been looking for that special person who feels like home, someone who can quiet the noise in your mind and make you feel whole again. You imagine that peace will arrive when the right person does. That connection is something waiting outside of you. But what if home isn't someone else at all? What if it's been you all along and you've simply forgotten how to find your way back? Most of us spend years chasing connection, texting, meeting, attaching, retreating, convinced that closeness comes from being in a relationship. We treat love as something we have to earn or prove, rather than something we can practice within ourselves. Yet intimacy doesn't begin when another person appears. It starts much earlier, in the quiet relationship you hold with yourself, in the moments when no one is watching and you're left with the question of whether you can find peace in your own company. It's not surprising that the shape of intimacy is changing. Fewer people are marrying or planning for children, and more are choosing to build their lives around friendship, self-growth, and a gentler kind of peace. There's even a name for it now: nomance, a move away from performative love stories toward companionship and calm. This isn't about rejecting love, it's about redefining it. We want stories that end not with a kiss under the sunset, but with mutual understanding and the comfort of being understood. Maybe this is really what you've been searching for: to be seen without having to perform, to be met where you already are. Because the kind of intimacy that lasts isn't always romantic. It's emotional and mindful, built on the quiet confidence that comes from self-trust. It's knowing who you are and still choosing to stay. Most of us have some level of self-awareness. We can name our patterns and triggers easily enough, but self-intimacy begins where awareness ends. It's the moment you stop analyzing yourself like a project and start relating to yourself like a person worth knowing. Self-intimacy means sitting with the parts of you you've tried to exile. The anxious part of you who panics when things go silent, the jealous side who hates that they care so much, the lonely part who still aches for someone who left long ago. It means saying to all these versions, "I see you, and I'm not leaving." That's what you've always been searching for in other people. Proof that you're worth staying with when things get uncomfortable, but you can only believe that when you begin modeling it for yourself. So how do you begin? How do you build real closeness with yourself when you've spent years looking outward for it? First, come home to your body. We spend most of our lives in our heads, scrolling through thoughts and comparisons, but connection begins in the physical. Notice how you breathe, how your shoulders rise and fall, how your pulse feels beneath your skin. Let yourself experience the tiredness, the hunger, the restlessness, without judging any of it. This is what it's like to be you right now. Presence begins the moment you stop editing it. And if you can't be present with yourself, it will always be hard to offer real presence to anyone else. The body is where safety begins. It's the place you abandon most easily and the one that never stops waiting for you to return. When you ground yourself there, through breath, movement, stillness, you start to rebuild trust from the inside out. Second, learn to walk without distraction. Try leaving your phone behind. No music, no conversation, nowhere to be, just movement. At first, your mind will riot with noise. To-do lists, memories, things you wish you'd said. Stay with it. Beneath that static, there's a quieter frequency, the part of you that's been waiting to speak. If you listen, you'll start to hear what's really underneath the noise. You'll recognize your own patterns, the reasons you reach for people who can't give back, the way silence feels unsafe, the way attention can masquerade as love. A simple walk can turn down the volume of everyone else's expectations until your own voice comes through clearly. And once you can hear yourself, you can finally respond instead of react. Third, speak with yourself through reflection. Write, record, or think aloud, but do it honestly. Not for self-improvement, not for aesthetics, but as a way of staying in dialogue with who you really are. Journaling isn't about being tidy. It's a practice of honesty. Write the things you'd never post, the thoughts you've been trying to outrun, the truth that feels messy but real. When you give language to your feelings, you stop being ruled by them. You start to understand what they're trying to show you. That's the quiet purpose of reflection. It turns chaos into comprehension, emotion into meaning. And over time, that fluency begins to shape every other relationship you have, because you learn how to tell the truth gently, without shame. Fourth, remember pleasure. Not performance, not perfection, just pleasure. Your body remembers what joy feels like, even if your mind insists it's too busy to notice. Feed that memory. Taste something slowly. Touch fabric that feels good against your skin. Let warm water move across your shoulders until you remember what ease feels like. Pleasure isn't self-indulgence. It's communication. It tells your nervous system that comfort and safety can coexist. You don't need someone else's touch to feel alive in your own skin. When you can experience joy without guilt, you stop outsourcing it. You become easier to love because you already know how to care for yourself. And finally, face what you've been avoiding. Every relationship reaches a point where truth demands to be seen, and the one you have with yourself is no different. You can't grow by pretending you're already healed. You can't hide from the parts that still flinch at love. Look directly at the fears you've been managing instead of understanding. The whisper that says you're too much, the worry that if you stop achieving, you'll disappear. Those voices aren't enemies. They're evidence of where tenderness is needed most. Facing them is how you build real intimacy, not the comfortable kind, but the kind that's strong enough to hold your full humanity. When you stop running, you stop fracturing. You begin to gather yourself, piece by piece, until you feel whole again. When that happens, being alone stops feeling like failure. Solitude becomes intimacy without an audience, the ability to really look at yourself and not flinch. It's discovering that peace isn't something you find, it's something you practice. Alone isn't emptiness. It's the space where you remember your own shape. It's where you hear your life without interference and learn what truly nourishes you. When your own company stops feeling like a waiting room, that's how you know you're healing. Something shifts after that. You become less reactive, less desperate for reassurance, more attuned to what feels genuine. And relationships will begin to change too. You stop chasing people who mirror your emptiness and start attracting those who recognize your self-respect. And the irony is beautiful. The more connected you are to yourself, the safer others feel being close to you. You no longer need them to complete you. You simply want them to walk beside you. If you've spent years searching for love in other people's eyes, start by meeting your own. Sit quietly and notice the parts of you that still ache for validation. Tell them, I'm here now. Be the person who stays when things get uncomfortable, the one who listens, who comforts, who doesn't turn away. That's where every lasting connection begins. You were never missing love. You were missing yourself. And once you come home, you'll realize that closeness was never out there waiting to be found. It's been within you all along, quietly asking for your attention. You've been watching The Soft Skills. Like and subscribe for reflections that help you rebuild the relationship that matters most, the one with yourself.